Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series on open channel flow. In this video we will discuss broad crested wire, which is one of the flow measuring devices in open channel. Firstly, we look at the definition of broad crested wire. Wires with a finite crest width in the direction of flow is called broad crested wire. Okay, these wires are also termed as wires with finite crest width, and these broad crested wires are extensively used as control structures and flow measuring devices. It is practically impossible to generalize their behavior because a wide variety of crest and cross sectional shapes of the wire are used in practice. Here in this lecture, we will focus only a simple rectangular horizontal broad crested wire. This figure shows a free flow over a horizontal broad crested wire in a rectangular channel. This wire has a sharp upstream corner which causes a flow to separate and then reattach, enclosing a separation bubble. If the width BW, which is the width of crest of the wire, if this width BW of the wire is sufficiently long, the curvature of the streamline will be small and the hydrostatic pressure distribution will prevail over most of its width. The wire will act like an inlet with a subcritical flow upstream of the wire and supercritical flow over the wire. Okay, at the upstream side of wire there will be subcritical flow, and over the wire supercritical flow take place. A critical depth control section will occur at the upstream end, probably at a location where the bubble thickness is maximum. Okay, means at this location the critical depth will be there. So this section will act like a control section. Assuming, now let's consider the two sections, section 1 and section 2, and we are assuming that there is no loss of energy between these two sections, and further assuming that the depth of flow at section 2 to be critical. Hence the energy, this H total energy, when we consider the datum as this line, then this total energy at section 1 H will be equal to Yc plus Vc square upon 2g. Okay, and we know that this is the specific energy. Why? Because we are considering the datum as the channel bottom, which is also the crest of the wire. Hence at section 2 the critical flow prevailing, hence this specific energy at section 2 will be the minimum specific energy, and in case of rectangular channel the minimum specific energy in terms of critical depth is 3 by 2 Yc. Okay, hence this H will be equal to 3 by 2 Yc. Moreover, the Froude number for rectangular channel is V divided by root over Gy, and for critical flow condition this V will be Vc and Y will be Yc, and the Froude number in this case is 1, hence Vc is equal to root over GYC, and also the YC will be equal to 2 by 3 H. Okay, from this equation. The ideal discharge per unit width of the wire is small qt, that is the discharge per unit width, is equal to VC YC is equal to now substitute the value of VC in terms of capital H, and also substitute the value of YC in terms of capital H. Okay, here VC is root over GYC, and YC is 2 by 3 times of H. Okay, so here we have to substitute the value of VC in terms of H and G, and YC in terms of H. Then we will have the equation of ideal discharge per unit width as 1.705 H to the power 3 by 2. Okay, we have substituted the value of small g as 9.81. So to find the actual discharge, this is the ideal discharge. Okay, here we did not consider any kind of loss between section 1 and 2. Moreover, we considered that at section 2 the depth is exactly equal to critical depth. Hence, this is defined as ideal discharge. But to find the actual discharge, a coefficient CD1 is introduced to account for the energy losses and the depth at section 2 being not strictly equal to the critical depth. Okay, so the actual discharge Q is equal to CD1 into QT, where small q is equal to capital Q divided by L, where L is the length of the broad crested wire. And remember one thing here, this BW is the width of broad crested wire, which is measured in the direction of flow or along the flow, and L is the dimension of the broad crested wire, which is measured in the direction transverse to the flow. Okay, means we are talking about, if we make a 3D figure of this one, this will be so this will be the length of wire. Okay, means L is the length of the wire measured in a transverse direction to the flow. Okay, this is the transverse direction of flow and this is the direction of flow, and BW is the width of the wire measured in the longitudinal direction. Okay, in this direction we measured BW and in this direction we measure L. It is observed that the equation Q is equal to 1.705 CD1 S to the power 3 by 2 is inconvenient to use because it contains the energy head H. An alternate form of discharge equation commonly in use through broad crested wire is Q is equal to 2 by 3 CD root over 2G L H1 to the power 3 by 2, where H1 is the height of water surface elevation above the wire surface measured sufficiently upstream of the wire face. Okay, this H1 is the height of water surface elevation which is measured above the wire surface sufficiently upstream of the wire face. Clear? This is H1. And CD is the coefficient of discharge. Later we will discuss how to find the CD and CD1 coefficients. If the upstream end is rounded, the separation bubble will not exist, and instead a boundary layer will grow over the wire with the critical depth control point shifting towards the downstream end. Okay, if we provide a rounded upstream end instead of a sharp corner upstream as we have seen, then in that case the separation bubble will not exist, and the boundary layer will grow over the wire, and the critical depth control point which occur at the upstream end in case of sharp corner, in this case it will shift towards the downstream end. The flow over most part of its crest will be subcritical in case of rounded upstream end of broad crested wire. Now we come to the classification of the flow over a broad crested wire. Based on the value of H1 upon Bw, the flow over a broad crested wire with an upstream sharp corner is classified in various categories. If H1 upon Bw is less than or equal to 0.1, then in this range the critical flow control section is at the downstream end of the wire, and the resistance of the wire surface plays an important role in determining the value of CD, that is the discharge coefficient. This kind of wire is called long crested wire, and the use of this type of wire is limited as a reliable flow measuring device. If H1 upon Bw is greater than 0.1 and less than or equal to 0.35, then in this case the critical depth control occurs near the upstream end of the wire, and the discharge coefficient CD varies slowly with H1 upon Bw. In this range, this type of wire is called true broad crested wire. If H1 upon Bw is greater than 0.35 and less than or equal to about 1.5, then in this case the water surface profile will be curvy linear all over the wire. The control section will be at the upstream end. The wires of this type can be termed as narrow crested wire. The upper limit of this range depends upon the value of H1 upon P. Okay, the upper limit of H1 upon Bw is not exactly equal to 1.5. This limit depends upon the value of H1 upon P. Next is H1 upon Bw greater than about 1.5. In this case, the flow separates at the upstream corner and jumps clear across the wire crest. The flow surface is highly curved in this case, and the wire can be classified as sharp crested wire. Now let's see how to find discharge coefficients CD and CD1. A formal dimensional analysis of the flow situation will reveal that CD or CD1 are the function of H1 upon L, H1 upon Bw, H1 upon P, Reynolds number, Weber number, and Ks upon H1. Okay, where R is the Reynolds number, W is Weber number, Ks upon H1 is relative roughness of the wire surface. In most of the situations of practical interest with broad crested wires, the parameters Reynolds number, Weber number, relative roughness of the wire surface, and H1 upon L have insignificant effect on CD or CD1. Hence, for practical purposes, CD or CD1 are the function of H1 upon Bw and H1 upon P. Govinda Rao and Muralidhar, on the basis of extensive studies of the wire of finite crest in the range h1 upon bw 0 to 2.0 and h1 upon p 0 to 1 have given the following expressions for the variation of CD. For long wires, if h1 upon bw less than or equal to 0.1, the CD is 0.561 h1 upon bw whole to the power 0.022. For broad crested wire means h1 upon bw in between 0.1 and 0.35, CD is given as 0.028 h1 upon bw plus 0.521. For narrow crested wires means for h1 upon bw in between 0.45 and about 1.5, CD is 0.120 h1 upon bw plus 0.492. So this was about CD. Singer has studied the variation of CD1 for values of h1 upon bw up to 1.5 and h1 upon p up to 1.5. For the range h1 upon bw greater than or equal to 0.08 and less than or equal to 0.33 and h1 upon p less than 0.54. For this case, the value of CD1 is found to remain constant at a value of 0.848, and for higher values of h1 upon bw means the value of h1 upon bw greater than 0.33 as well as h1 upon p greater than 0.54, the coefficient CD1 is a function of both these parameters, means CD1 is a function of h1 upon bw as well as h1 upon p. So this was all about broad crested wires. In the next video we will discuss the next topic, that is critical depth flume. Thank you.